didn't see the blink I have in my eye.
What you hear in your sound when no one's to be found? What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind?
Yeah, you better, guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if I tried it. You're the artist in the mass and happily perform the new in your hands.
Big dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah, ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, but we ain't with all that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, made $1 million and I can't go back. Got a lot of jewelry on me, man, you can't hold that. 12 asking better, tell him that I ain't so crack. Know your money long when your people can't afford that. I'm ballin', yeah. My mama told me that did my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open out the doors and let them all in here. Yeah, they all in here. Ooh, big dog. We come out the pound, so we big dog. Heavy patty, don't break my wrist off. I'm young out of rocket, about to lead dog. 3, 2, 1, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog vet.
What is up, entrepreneurs, creators? Welcome back to the Friday Live Helpcast. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day. You know why? Because you deserve it. And you know what else? We deserve to have a great, freaking, fantastic day. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some jams rolling up here, out here in these real and digital streets. Hope you had a great week. And then that's transitioning into a great weekend. And yes, as the thumbnail suggests, I do have a very special announcement. I've been working in the background on something that you know, it's like you see some stuff, it's like a labor of love. It's like, no, it's a labor of labor. Labor of love as well. But as per usual, whether you watch this live or on the replay, thanks for being here. And we still will go into any questions, tech, Q&A and whatnot. I know the stream is starting a little bit later than usual. It won't matter if you watch it on the replay, but live it will. Let me tell you something. Y'all have heard me talk about, and we get real on the Helpcast. Y'all have heard me talk about the devil don't bother nobody that's not doing anything, right? In proper grammatical English, that would be the devil does not bother with anyone that isn't trying to do something. And that being the case, absolutely. Well, number one, usually don't have too many issues like trying to start the stream, nothing like that. Did not want to happen. Did not want to happen. Push it back once. I'm like, okay. Push it back once more and again. And I'm like, okay, come hell or high water, we're going to make this happen some kind of a way. And did. And here we are. And then I shared this with you all last week about, you know what? Hold that thought. We'll get to that later. Let's say what's up to the peeps in the chat. And then again, Q colon in the chat if you need any questions answered. Doesn't matter if that's camera, content creation related, video related, tech related, whatever. We'll be getting into all that in just a second. What I'm saying was what's up to the peeps that are here so far. We got Noel Ellington in the building. What is up, Noel? Saying special announcement. You're moving to Hawaii? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, have not been released from the great old state of St. Louis. And quite frankly, I don't know how y'all book fairs are. That is how I judge the city. How is your museums? How's your history museums? Okay, how's your science center? How's your zoo? What are the attractions you got going on there? I know it's God's backyard, as Doc Rock loves to say, but neither here nor there. Let's get into this business. We got T. Davis in the house. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Matthew Pate saying, hey now. Good to see you, Matthew Pate. Glad that you are here as well, saying the devil is a liar. Yes. Okay. Get the announcement out the way. Well, not in English, announcement out the way. But let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So it's been a minute since I've launched anything into the creator space. Usually it'll be some freebies, things like that. I'll usually give, most of the more recent times we'll see if I'm doing a talk, live event, or what have you. That what I usually would do is I usually have a big bundle of something, again, to usually give away. And then the last biggest announcement that I did is when I released my book, and courtesy of the Glad Gang out here in these real and digital streets, we hit a bestseller, and not in some crazy random category on Amazon like underwater shoe skis. It's just like, no, the real deal Holyfield, up there with some monsters too, and held that for about 2.5 months, something like that. I'd have to check the dates on that, but that's the last biggest launch that I did. And so I've looked through, been doing more and more research, looking into a lot of things that we talk about on the Helpcast, which will always be an ongoing thing as far as I'm concerned. We've done where you see all my camera settings, you see everything that I do, and I'm going through all the nitty gritties and stuff, even answering questions after that. And I'm like, people having issues, and they're like, I tell them, send me a picture of your camera, the back with all the icons and stuff, send it to me on Instagram so I can see what you're talking about, or send me a video. Do consultation calls, coaching calls, speaking at events, hashtag all the things. And honestly, it is still not enough. And emails, oh my gosh, the emails, the contact submission forms, you name it. I'm not exaggerating here. This is the legit. Comments on, not to mention comments on YouTube, which I try to be as exhaustive as I can with helping everybody. And I've been doing this for years, so this is not anything new. Unless you're new to the channel, welcome. You new over here in these real and digital streets, welcome. We love white chocolate over here, and if you love dark chocolate, this announcement is not for you, okay? If you love dark chocolate, this announcement, no, I'm just kidding. Let me get a white chocolate deal real quick. Okay, I want to share this with y'all. I'm super excited. Like, I don't get nervous, but I definitely feel the excitement in the bones and such. And I'm really excited to talk about this. We'll get into the other stuff later. Like I said, y'all go ahead and fill up the chat with any questions, whatever stuff, even camera related. Like I said, we'll get into our regular Q&A and whatnot. But been working on this offer for a while. And like I said, no matter what I'm doing, it simply isn't enough. And there's only so much that I can do one-to-one. And quite frankly, I do not love filling up my calendar with coaching calls. And that's all I do. Like, it's just not my jam. But in an effort to best serve the community, doing the research, pulling case studies on what is it that everybody's usually asking about? What is it that everybody's usually suffering from, having issues with, hashtag all the things, right? All right. Well, I decided I'm going to do a boot camp. Let me show y'all what this looks like. This is going to be the Press Publish Boot Camp. The first inaugural live boot camp. Me, you, your other fellow creators out here in these real and digital streets, going back and forth. Number one, first off the rip, we're going to fix your camera settings live. This is not going to be something where it just dies off and you buy some big course that you can barely get through, maybe, and then you turn around and you come back to it again, and then something else comes out, and then that becomes irrelevant. Like, I get it. I've been there. This is not this. The Press Publish Bootcamp is a 5-day live creator cohort where moi will be with you for 5 days straight. And this is not some all-day, everyday thing. We all have lives. Okay, we all have lives. This is not going to be some all-day, everyday thing, but we're going to go in 90-minute sessions. I've given a little grace just to give an extra buffer if we need to go past that, for those that need to go past that. But you'll send me not only your camera settings, you'll not only send me a list of your gear and everything that you're doing, but I'm personally going to take a look at your stuff so that I can actually help you. Okay? So when you come to the boot camp and you sign up for the boot camp, this is all virtual. Okay? You're not coming to my house. We ain't going to have no sleepover in the room. It looks like we get and everybody in the living room making a pallet. It's not that. All right? Not yet, at least. And if we do, we go into a hotel. We all need privacy out here in these real and digital streets. But this is going to be, by far, is probably my favorite thing that I've done thus far, because I've never done something like this before. And that's not cap. So, 5-day creator cohort, this Press Publish Bootcamp is 100% about three main core things. Number one, stop spinning your wheels trying to figure out your camera. Stop spinning your wheels trying to figure out what settings to use. Stop spinning your wheels trying to become, unfortunately and unwillingly, some YouTube search expert trying to find the answer, hoping that they explain it the right way. Number 2, actually make content on day 1. Actually make content on day 1 with the new settings that you have, so that number 1 feeds number 2. Because just getting your settings right means nothing if you actually don't do exactly what the bootcamp's called, press publish. Y'all have heard me been pushing this. And then finally I was like, let me do something about this, right? Let me step in, let me step up, and let me do something about this. So get your settings right. We're going to be doing that on day 1. Number 1, on day 2, on day 1, it's probably a little confusing. The second thing you're going to do on day 2, you're actually going to publish content. Every day of the boot camp, you're going to be publishing content. You're going to get my signature formulas, the stuff that I've used, the things that have got me the attentions of Brandon's. And here's the thing. I don't have some million subscriber channel. I don't have even yet 100,000 or 200 and 500,000 subscribers yet. Larger brands still contact me. They still reach out to you, girl. You can have the same thing. I had similar. For those of you that's here last week, we got my regular bottle back because we can't trust the cup. Let me take a swig real quick and not die like last stream. Number 2, or number 3, I'll say, getting the attention of the stuff that you want. It's not about me and the things that I've done. It's about the goals, the visions, the stuff that I hear y'all talk about a lot of times that don't get moved forward. We're going to be doing that in the press publish. Why? So that you can start getting those things that you want achieved. 4th thing that we're going to be doing, we're going to have a live group hub. So not only will you be getting help directly from me, but in the group, in this live creator cohort, press publish bootcamp, you also are going to be held accountable. Everybody in there is going to be publishing content. It's not going to be like, oh, I ain't have time. I ain't have the kids. I'm going to be honest with you right now. Let me go back full screen real quick. Let me be 100% transparent. Do not sign up for this boot camp if you used to being in Excuse City. This is not the event for you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This is not the event for you if excuses tend to play a bigger part than you care to admit. I'm just being very transparent, because when you sign up, that means you're committing to, number 1, finishing the 5 days, being present for the 5 days. Will replays be available? Yes, of course, because I get it. You'll need to go back through and watch that stuff, and you'll have access to this for forever. You'll have access to the courses well, I won't say courses, I'm giving a bonus away, but you will have access to the stuff that we're covering, this live sessions. You'll have those replays. But that does not mean you get to keep honoring the unfortunate behaviors that are not producing the things that you want. It's not giving you the results that you want. I've had so many emails where people will say, my camera's been sitting in the box for a year. I haven't touched it. My camera's been sitting for 6 months and I haven't touched it. And I just can't figure this out. Do a coaching call. We'll get the settings locked in. And guess what? They still won't press publish. Unfortunately, recording the content is simply not enough. You must publish it in order to get the things that you want. So, like I said, we're going to be publishing every day. I'm going to give you all the formulas. You're going to have everything that you need to kind of take all the stuff out the way. AI, of course, is a thing. We're going to have, let me just show you real quick, and then I'm going to get to the whatnot. If you all have questions, we can go into that. But this is not my intent for this stream is to be like a sales stream. I'm just going through the basics, okay? So let's scroll down because you'll get access to this. This page goes live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, like I said, the Press Publish Bootcamp goes live 5 p.m. Central Standard Time today. You have to be on the email list in order to get access to this. So if you're not already on the email list, you better head over to dianagladney.com so you can get signed up, because that's how we're doing this. Like I said, this is not the boot camp for you to just sit on your hands and be like, well, I have access to it. I'll get around to it later. If you don't show up for a session, you will hear from me. I'm being your business because I'm here to help you get results, not let you add something else to your course cemetery. So we're going to get your content stuff together. We're going to get everything locked in. Then let me go down to the bonuses real quick. These are some of my favorites. This will give you, I'm just going to scroll past this real quick. You'll see this, like I said, you'll get the link to it so you can check it out. Today, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll probably go ahead. You know what? I'm not. Be on the email list. Because I was going to say, well, I'll share it out to the such. It's like maybe I'll do it for the community tab simply because we had issues today. So 24 hours, I'll put it up on the community tab. Otherwise, it's just like, you're going to get the details via the email. But this will give you an idea of what we're covering day by day. Not going to go into all of this stuff, but it's going to be extremely dope. In addition to my video editing assets, so that you can drop in or upload the assets. I'm going to be doing it for CapCut and Final Cut Pro. Sorry, DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro people. I don't use those tools, so I can't make that stuff for you. Probably could get somebody to do it, but we ain't gonna have enough time for the boot camp, because you know why? We start on Monday. So we're starting this boot camp on Monday. So if you get the VIP, which is, we scroll back up here. So VIP do get exclusive stuff. There's a few extra bonuses for the VIPs. Let me get past and down, get down to the bonuses. So first bonus, fast action bonus. This is only available for the first 12. Sony camera settings. If you have the Sony ZV-E1 or you have the Sony a6700, I should be able to get the one for the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. I just don't have it saved and ready to go yet, but I should have that one for the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. So I'll send that out and include it with this pack. But if you have the a6700 or the Sony ZV-E1, I've already gone through all the perfect and ideal settings, optimized the cameras, all the buttons, everything for video exactly as I would use it. You get that for free. Those are only the first 12 though. So first 12 people that signs up for the boot camp, don't matter if you get a creator pass or VIP pass, either way, you can get access to this, but it's only for the first 12 folks. So that's a fast action bonus right there. Bonus number one of my favorites, my content matrix blueprint. This is the kind of stuff that when I'm teaching at a mastermind, like those 4 and 5 figure mastermind trainings, you may see like clips of me at, or a photo or something like that, but you never see it on like YouTube or whatever, just because it's a masterclass. People pay a lot of money to be in that room, so it's like, I can only share so much. Plus, sometimes it's not mine, it's not my session, so I can't, you know what I mean? Can't do that. But I'm going to give you the content matrix blueprint. So it doesn't matter if you have a lot of time. Number one, this is the system I developed because dealing with stage 4 endometriosis is hell. And you don't have a lot of time. You don't feel great. You don't know what days you're going to feel great or whatever. Most people's schedules are kind of like that as well, to where you never know what's going to happen most of the time. So this is the system that I developed that lets me keep creating and doing stuff that I need to do, regardless as to whether that's a planning day or that's an execution day. So you're going to get a ton of stuff for this. Like I said, you can see it all on the page. Maybe hit the replay, pause this, go back, whatever you need to do. But like I said, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, this page goes live. It's only open through the weekend for us to get people in, because we're starting this on Monday. Monday is the VIP Tech Day, which is one of the bonuses that you get. So VIPs, which I'm just kind of jumping ahead, VIPs get a special Tech Day where we specifically log in. I'll still look at your camera settings and stuff like everyone else, but we have a specific live session where I'm going through each individual person and I'm like, okay, show me your stuff. Nope, make this tweak, do this. It's basically free coaching, free tech coaching, and make you get all your stuff right in your specific environment. But everybody else, everyone gets the Creator AI Toolkit. Number one complaint I hear all the time, AI doesn't sound like me. It's corny, it's lame, it takes too long before it can get right. Now, this is one of the things I also teach a lot, even like in social media marketing world. I've taught this a lot of times with the social media examiner team, how to get AI working well. So this is something that's highly desired. You're going to get all that stuff, all the goodness and goodies in there included as well. Hooks, scripts, whatever. Again, I'm removing all friction. Number 3, Fast Edit Factory. So you're going to get my Final Cut Pro keyboard shortcuts, just a few things that I like to use. So you can, number one, like if you use Zoom for your podcast and all of that, different presets and stuff that I've made so that it doesn't look like Zoom. It actually looks and fits your brand. And then, like I said, other stuff. And then, like I said, the VIPs, that's the camera clinic that I was talking about. VIPs also get access to a playbook so that when you are making all this content now, you can get your team on board if you are having video editors that don't quite get it. It takes forever for them to freaking get to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, not that. Oh, that's wrong. Or you just frustrated because they can never get your stuff to look right. Or it looks corny. Let's call a spade a spade. It looks corny. So giving you that blueprint and that playbook so you can get through all of that stuff. But I digress. This is the boot camp. We're going to be doing that. So I'm sure probably is going to get the question, what is it? How much? Whatever. Let me just scroll back up. It's $197 for the creator pass, extra $67 if you want to do the VIP upgrade. VIPs, you pretty much get everything included with the whole thing. $197 otherwise gets you the creator pass, and that gets you everything else that I mentioned that's not specifically labeled. The VIP was just a couple of bonuses, those extra sessions, and then that extra tab in the group and stuff like that. So that is what I've been working on for well over, it's probably been pushing like probably close to 2 months, specifically to really fine tune, take away any fluff, because I hate that stuff too. Like I said, I hate courses where they're so freaking long, you cannot even get through them. It's just like, what's the point? I can't, like, it takes forever to get through the stuff. Let it be as long as it needs to be and no longer. Courtesy of Sean Cannell quote. So that is the boot camp that's going to be available, like I said, at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time today. Ideally, I would have loved to have had it live now for those that want to check it out. But like I said, I'll probably put a link down in the description when it's available, and I'll do that link on the community tab on YouTube once it does go live. But if you get on the email list, that is where all the details are going to be, because once that link disappears over on YouTube, on the YouTube community tab, it's gone. So, because why? We start on Monday. We start on Monday. I don't care how many people sign up for this, but it is going to have to be a cap to a point, because I'm doing this really intensive boot camp and cohort, especially when it comes to the settings and stuff. We can't have a bunch of people in there because then I can't get to everybody properly. But regardless as to how many people sign up for it, it's a seat limit of about 40 max. And then a couple, I think we did like 20 or something like that for 2025 for the VIPs. Because like, and that's pushing it thin, but that's just giving enough space. All right, so let me get into the chat real quick. And we'll just jump into Q&A and whatever else is in the chat. All right, but I at least wanted to get that out the way. Did not mean to make this some kind of sales pitch or whatever, but I at least wanted to give it some breath and life and cover it and whatnot. Make sure you are on the email list, like I said, because once the seats are full, the seats are full. I don't know, maybe we would do a second one, but it's not like, oh, are you going to do it again? Not right now that I'm aware of. I'll be moving on to the next thing. So if you want to get in, you're tired of dealing with all this stuff that I mentioned, the camera settings, the YouTube search hell, trying to get the content right, can't stay consistent, can't do this, not getting the offers that you want, not getting the attention that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I know y'all didn't spend like thousands of dollars on gear just for it to collect dust. Let's do something about that. So if you want to jump into that press publish boot camp, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time is when the door opens. When the seats get full, the seats are full. The seats will be full. So hope you make it. hope you get a seat. Let's go into this. We got Mark. Is it Marquez White or Marquise? I'm gonna say Marquez. That's what I think. Let me know if that's incorrect. Saying my Elgato Cam Link 4K keeps freezing. I changed the setting in Elgato Cam Studio, and now it's flickering. Like I said, we're gonna go into Q&A. Anything in the chat, that's what we're doing. So I have the newest Mac Mini, an M4, and it's so frustrating. What's your capture card setup? I've never had to set up my capture card. I've never had to install, and I used the Elgato Cam Link 4Ks and had the 1080p, and still have it. It's actually still usable. Since I think 2018 is when I got the 1080p one. But I don't, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with yours. I'm hearing, for whatever reason, between SSDs and capture cards, people are having issues with their computers and stuff. I don't have any special settings or anything because that is a device that is so plug and play. There's nothing for me to change. Now, you did mention something here about, you say you got the ZV-10 Mark II as well. That's fine. It's camera agnostic, so it doesn't matter which camera that you use. Now, when it comes to the flickering, the first thing that I'm going to say, check your cables. The second thing I would say, check the port that it's connected to. Sometimes, if the cable is old, even if the external does not look bad, the internal wires can fray just from regular wear and tear, which is why I like braided cables. I don't know if you'd be able to see this a little bit here. This is like I was sharing last week about the JS aux type cables. These are braided. And so my USB-C and a lot of my other ones are as well. So I would say check your cables and update them. If it's frayed and, on the inside, there's nothing that you could do about it other than throw it away. I mark those. I usually just put a dot on it. If it doesn't look bad, but it's acting weird, I'll just take a little Sharpie marker and put a dot on it. So I know something is off with that one. So if I'm reaching to grab a cable someday, I'm just not going to use that one. If you really think it's messed up, just toss it. And I know it may feel weird to throw away a cable that don't look bad, but if it's not performing, it doesn't do the one function it's built to do. So like I said, the first thing I always recommend doing, check the cables, because there's no software. Maybe they do have a software or something that comes in the box. I never touch any of that stuff because this is plug and play. I don't adjust any settings for it, or any camera settings that you adjust is not going to alter more than likely what you're doing there. Even with me doing this stream right now at 422 10-bit in 4K, even though it's not recording, it's still on the H.265 codec. Okay, well this camera wasn't out. I'm on the Sony ZV-E1 right now. This camera was not out when the Camlink 4K first came out. So if there was any incompatibility issues, it would be at that point. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, it's only for cameras good up and such. That doesn't exist that I'm aware of on it. So if it's new, return it. You could have a bump issue where it's just, that 1 in 1 million. you got the one. So, but usually check your cables. Number 2, check the port. When it comes to the stuff that you're doing, also check the devices. Every new link in the chain. This is getting into data stuff or whatever, and I'm elaborating on this because when you try to troubleshoot this, it's going to be annoying. And I'm telling you what order of operations of stuff to check, so that you can start to funnel down and figure out where the issue is. Because I doubt it's the Camlink for real. It's not that it can't be, but I'm just saying you probably want to check. Because when I started having flickering issues with mine that was brand new, it wasn't the Camlink. It was I had 3 Camlinks, and I tried all of them. And I tried what I call a can't link, one of the cheapo $20, $10 ones you see on Amazon, just to throw it in the mix. Because sometimes I will use something for like an iPad or something like that in an event. Check the cable. It's usually the cable. Check the port. If you don't see anything with the cable, switch the cable out anyway. If all your cables are used older than 2 years, get new cables. It's Cyber Week still right now, so go on Amazon, go to JS aux, and get you some cables. That's what I would recommend for that. And then you can go buy another Camlink and see if that issue is the same, and then proof positive. If you only have the one, then proof positive, then that's the issue, more than likely. But I don't do anything with software. Let me pull this up real quick. Sorry, I'm trying to I don't care how much water I've been drinking. I'm not getting properly hydrated, which is probably a sign that I'm not drinking nearly enough, which I know is probably true. So let me pull up this JX aux. That would be a micro HDMI that you're using for that. Also, like I said, every new link in the chain opens up the door to a potential problem. So this is the JX aux type cables I was talking about. You're going to want to make sure that not only are you looking at like the HDMI side of the cable, but the USB side of the cable. Make sure it's not longer than 10 feet. Be well under 10 feet, honestly. The shorter the cable, the better. I found if you need to go that long, probably don't. like figure something else out. And I'm saying for the USB-C cable, not the HDMI. HDMI is good up until 50 feet. USB-C though, probably keep it down to 10. And that's like a USB-A to USB-C type cable that got the cam link. Matter of fact, I got one right here. Can't take the other part of the cable off, but let me do it. So you have the one side of this that is, all right, HDMI. One side HDMI, that can be up to 50 feet. You probably don't need to be 50 feet, but if you need a longer extension, use the HDMI cable, a longer HDMI cable for that versus getting a long USB cable or USB-C. So you got USB-A, make sure you have a fast USB-A connector. Sometimes that is the weak link in the chain. So if that's the weak link, get you a better one. These are cool that come with it, but if this isn't long enough, you can use this. This is fine. But if this is not long enough, get a little bit of a longer one, maybe like 6 feet or something like that. But if you really need the distance, you need that length, do it on the HDMI side, not the USB side. Sorry, mate, just went hella deep there, but shoot. So using EVMux and it's freezing up on other platforms too. It doesn't matter. You can test this just on like QuickTime. And that's usually, once you see that it's not program based or anything like that, it's not necessarily computer based. Like I said, you got a weak link in a chain somewhere that could, like I said, it could be the cam link. Most of the time I find it's a cable. Cause I can't tell you how many times I've thrown these around, dropped them. I don't mean like tossing them on purpose, but they just fly. So it's probably not the cam link. Potentially check the cable. And then quick pro tip on top of the pro tips. Don't update the software on the computer right away. As soon as it says a Mac such and such, whatever, Mac OS Sierra, Mac OS Macadamia Nut, whatever, like whatever, just give it 30 days. Stop beta testing for Apple for free. Let everybody else figure that out. Wait 30 to 60 days. Because a lot of times, sometimes that's where a lot of problems come in as well. It's just simply updating the computer. Every other component that was running fine now starts to be weird on the computer. And so you're like, Dak, I can't do anything. Don't update yet. Turn that automatic update off. Wait 30, 45, 60 days at least before you upgrade the computer's software, because that doesn't mean every other program was ready when Apple dropped something new with the software. Some people don't mind doing it. Maybe they have multiple machines, but if you have a main machine, don't update that right away. Give it some breathing space. Let all the bug tests and fixes come through. Otherwise, you're beta testing for free and you get the issues that come with beta testing. You know what I mean? So, saying great idea. I'm loving the boot camp. Love it. Saying such a great idea. But thank you, Noel Ellington. Thank you, T-Vape. Saying missed it already. Saying, darn, I'm broke. It seems like I'm not moving fast enough. Eventually, I can go shopping for a camera and come back to this. Please keep me and people like me in your thoughts. Always. Always. But that's also why, regardless as to what's going on in the background, I still do the Friday Live Helpcast. So when people have questions, don't need to pay for a coaching call. You don't need to do anything. Come to the Helpcast. But there's only so much, obviously, that I can do one-to-one. So that's why I'm switching and doing one-to-many. So if you can't get in boot camp right now, totally understandable. But like I said, I'm not going to say like, oh, just come back in a week. We'll be doing it again. And no, like I know I'm doing it now. I don't know if, when, or whenever I might do it again, because I have my sights set on once I'm done with this boot camp, what I'm doing after this boot camp is over. And then plus right after that is Christmas. So, and New Year's and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's why I have the Helpcast. So can't get into boot camp, totally understand. But that's why I do these Friday live Helpcasts. Then blessed white chocolate day. Good to see you, JFK Productions. Glad that you are here. Saying the course cemetery is real. I know that's right. It, you know, honestly, again, I'm just being 100% straight up. I literally pulled, because thanks, courtesy of Ecamm Live, little plug for Ecamm, not a big plug for Ecamm. Love Ecamm. But that's one of the things that I went, pulled a lot of the Helpcast questions, pulled all the questions that had certain keywords and stuff from the YouTube channel. I pulled all of my coaching call transcripts. What the initial problem was, like I did a whole deep dive case study specifically centered around this core issue. And the main things that came up, that's all of what the boot camp is, literally. And then I sat back and I looked and I was like, okay, it's about 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, okay, the offer is good. I'm like, you're going to take this out. That's not essential. You're going to take this out. That's not essential. I'm like, we can take this out. I'm like, because I can make that into a YouTube video. This can be a freemium offer that I give away for something. So it's like everything don't need to be in the boot camp. That's why I'm like, if you got a course cemetery, a couple things. Turn that into an active library. Turn it into an active library. But if you got stuff there that's just like bloated courses you've never gone through, I get it. I get it. I get it. I said it's not my particular cup of tea. If I'm going to pay for something, I'm going to get my money's worth and then some. Okay? So, shoot. What is up, David Hunt? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying greetings and salutations. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Saying peace be unto you. Miggs, good to see you. Brother Miggs back in the building. Saying Clarity Cowgirl. Saying how much? 197 is what it's going to be for the Creator Pass. And then you drop. You add on an extra 67 if you want to go and upgrade to the VIP. So that is what it costs. Like I said, it comes out on today, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's when the cart opens. That's when it opens. Is only open through the weekend. Only open through the weekend. And so, because why? We start on Monday. So once that opens, for sure, make sure you grab. If you're going to get in, don't spin around on your head about it. Jump in. If it's not right for you, cool. Like I said, we have an abundance of free content here on the channel and lots of wares on the interwebs. Saying, what's the link for the email list? Honestly, you can go to the website, but I'm going to push you to another one of my offers. Go to CNW show. Yeah. I'm going to have you sign up through this, which is my newsletter, weekly newsletter that comes out that actually has a podcast with it. So if you don't have, again, I listen to what my people complain about and then I make stuff. I make the solutions for it. I would advise you to do the same. So this is my newsletter that comes out every Wednesday called Creator News Weekly. If you sign up to this will get you on the email list. And you'll also get the newsletter every Wednesday, which also includes like AI prompts and a bunch of stuff, copywriting tips, so whatever it is that you're doing for your content, trying to make stuff better, and like regular tech news. It's dope. I probably need to, not even probably, I know I need to build this landing page out some more, but yeah, Creator News Weekly, and it's a podcast that comes with it. So if you work during the day, then you can get and listen to it. So because it may be something that you want to get, but you can't get to it. It's like, or the email is its own type of cemetery. And so I get that too, which is why I made the podcast. Sign up for the podcast, which is free. The newsletter's free. Then you get that every week. Copywriting, marketing, it's 5 sections. Copywriting, marketing, mindset mastery, something else. If you want to see just what one of them looks like, I can pull one up. If you want to know. If not, then no big deal, but that's how you get on the list. So let me pull up let me go back to the chat. And then Marquez, if you got more questions about that, or the cam link, if you still on, ask your question, or you know what I'm saying, let me know, because I know how frustrating that is. But I'm gonna tell you this though, brother, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So at least have a backup something, or connect your camera via USB for streaming. Yes, I know it's not all of the exhaustive quality that maybe you want, but have that always as a backup. I'll give you a pro tip, just because I like data, all the little nerdy stuff. Oh my, like me and Doc would stay up for hours just talking about stuff, or like just troubleshooting together. So what I've done when I'm doing something, which is why I was just able to grab and pull that cam link up real quick, anywhere that I have an HDMI feed running, like a cable or something, I also have a secondary cable running, and that's USB. Except for right now, because I did redo my cables. But if you got an HDMI cable system running, then run a second USB system as well, which is just a cable. So if anything happens, you can use these little, pull this one off of this cable, like how Rode gives them away. Sometimes everybody does. Movo, these little Velcro cable ties thingy bobbas, wrap it around the HDMI cable. So that way, if something goes wrong with the HDMI setup, you're not having to mess with a bunch of stuff. You can just unplug the HDMI, switch the camera setting, make that into a My Menu thing, like a quick access setting, switch to USB streaming, and then you can just plug in your USB cable. So that way that helps. I'm a big systems and efficiency person, so shoot. JFK Production, do your external SSDs feel hot when using them? Touch them and let me know. Been wondering something since your last stream. I thought all SSDs heat up since the heat shields. Well, let's wrench around and wrench it off. Let's hope I don't break something also. No, they're normal. They're normal. And my stream recording from Ecamm goes to the SSD. Like sales page and stuff that I'm building, like all the assets, images, the newsletter I was just talking about. I'm like, okay, got the audio file here, Final Cut Pro editing. I'm like, okay, let me add this library over here. It's a ton of stuff. So is it hot? No, it's warm. Like my Cal digit is warmer, and I have my space heater on. So yeah, my Cal digit is probably warmer, and it's right behind it. So, you know, it's getting residual heat. The laptop, my other computer is sitting right here. So it's getting plenty of heat, even just like surrounding it. So it's in a warm environment, but it's not hot. I don't know if how people have their stuff set up, if that matters, or if it's processing a lot at once. I'm sure if I'm in a deep editing session and I'm doing something, then maybe I'll, the next time I need to edit something, I'll touch it, and then if like next stream, I don't know, when is Christmas? So you're like, okay, 13, 20. Okay, so Friday, it'd be after Christmas. So sometime this month, I'll have edited something. And so I'll test it and I'll touch it during an edit session, like when I'm way in or when it's rendering, and see how it feels. But I've never had any issues with it or whatever. So like just a little FYI. Say I actually ran tests with multiple SSDs lately, and they are all toasty. So I thought I was tripping. No, I've heard of people having that issue before. That's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. It's just not something that interrupts what I'm doing. So I'll say that. I don't know about like the Samsung ones or whatever, but even being out of town and running and using one for a live event. And so at that point, these are like almost 12-hour days for me. So just like before the event, setup and stuff before the event, in the room, during, because I'm also transferring footage and dropping stuff over lunch and stuff like that. So it's transferring files. It doesn't stop working. Then got after lunch, and then I'm uploading and pulling that footage from there to Dropbox. In the evenings, once I either get back to the house or to the hotel, wherever I'm staying, for the evening, on top of working with other stuff. So I've never been like pick it up and just like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. Again, I used the Samsung T5 SSDs. I don't know if that makes any difference compared to the newer ones that are faster, obviously faster, more processing, more heat type deal. What is up, the Alan Jones Creator Diary? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Lula, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Sam Marquez, white high-speed HDMI cable not older than 10. Okay, I'm guessing that's an internal conversation. Saying Cyber Week, saying, damn, it's looking like Cyber Month. You know what? I was thinking that. What was it like last week? We had I'm like, I would rather just have a really amazing, like Bees Knees Hall of Fame, amazing Black Friday, like we used to. And it could just be because I experienced that. And like we know how fun they are, and they actually have good stuff. Only people that I've seen doing like really great deals was software companies, because they can afford to. But software companies, software is the name of the game this and last year. And then accessories. But I didn't see any like big deals. There were no cameras that were like 50, 60, 70% off of a $2,000 price tag. Like, I want to see somebody do that. Next year, I want to see some big camera brand. Sony, if you're listening. I would want to see some big camera brand say, hey, we're going to take the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II and we're discounting it down like 45, 50% off of the sale price or like the listed retail price on the website or whatever. We're only doing it for Black Friday or whatever. I'd rather have one of those, because then it'd make, Black Friday that much more worthwhile. And not only that, they probably acquire a ton of customers. I want to see that. But now it just feels kind of malaise. What's up, Just Tornado? Good to see you. Saying, hey now. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying, be careful, Miss D. Make sure that water isn't... Let me tell you something. I had to go back and watch the replay of that stream. And I cracked up laughing so hard. But I also got rid of that glass. I was like, I'm going back to Old Faithful. You see this? Got words of affirmation on it. Okay, this is my water bottle. And so my branded one. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me go back to Old Faithful. Number one, it doesn't spill. Number two, it can take a beating. And number three, it didn't try to kill me ever. Unlike that glass. So listen. It probably needs to sit in bleach for 3 days to get the sin of trying to kill me off. But I'm like, good Lord. So we back to Old Faithful. I will not stray again, because that was a whole mess from last week. Said, no, you're good. Adding them to my cart now. Thank you. You are most welcome. Glad to be of assistance. And that Sequoia update, been sitting there for months. Saying I'm still on Sonoma. I couldn't even tell you what I'm on. It gets to a point with mine on my Mac computers, because like I said, I don't recommend you do that right away update unless you are testing something, you're reviewing something, there is a reason, or you are doing intentional testing to see, what's what. May the Lord bless you and keep you always. But for me, absolutely not. Because I see in a lot of these like Facebook groups and stuff, people like, hey, is anybody having an issue with this? Oh man, I just updated my computer. I'm like, I'm out of this conversation immediately, because no, I'm not adding problems to my plate unnecessarily. Not doing beta testing for nobody. Not like that. On my main computer too? Absolutely not. Pull out my 2013 MacBook Pro, Old Faithful, and let her see what happens with it? Maybe. But I'm like, absolutely not. It can wait, because it's nothing that's that important that needs to happen. Not for me anyway. Say, hello. What is up? Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying we don't need them type of problems right now. Shoot. Calgary saying, okay, thank you. You are most welcome. Stall 2213. That looks like a football type symbol, like you know what I mean, like you got a football team or whatever. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Welcome. Saying, can a dome light mini cover a small room like a 10 to 12 meter inside. It depends on what you define as cover a small room, because most of the time, let's pull this up as well. Most of the time, it's not like a light dome. Most of the time, you're not trying to light the entire space unless you flip it up and you're bouncing that light off the wall so that you have not only diffused light coming out of the system into the dome, but then you're either bouncing it off something, or even still, if it's still too bright, filtering it through like one of those 5-in-1 reflector things, because that internal one is just basically diffusion. So like I've not seen personally anybody do that for real. Not like I have one light and I'm trying to light this entire space, kind of like how this one is. It's not usually the case. It's usually lighting the talent, lighting that general area for the most part, maybe like the table, the desk, or something like that. And then if you have like creative lighting that you want to use, then at that point, maybe. We said specifically the Light Dome Mini, like 10. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Light Dome Mini, just so I get a better picture. 10. Let me pull this up. Come on, B&H. So I don't think it's going to do what you think it's going to do. Let's pull this over yonder to go to the B's and the H's. I don't think this is going to do what you think it's going to do. Because number one, the smaller, this is why you see people with such large light domes, because number one, they want to really soften that light for that space. They don't want harsh lines when it comes to part of the light that's on the talent or the thing, and then the part that's starting to get a shadow. They really want to spread soft light. The more or the smaller that is, and I could probably grab my example little dome back in the back to let you see what that looks like. You can get it soft, but it's not going to light the room. It just will light the general vicinity of where that person is, your hands, the part of the desk, stuff like that. And then you have the natural fall off from there. But I don't think this is going to do what you may or be trying to do with lighting the space, unless you take and you point it at the ceiling and you start bouncing that off the wall. And then at that point, if you have like white walls or something, or the ceiling, you bounce it off the ceiling if you don't have high vaulted ceilings or something like that. I don't think it's going to do what you want it to do in that way. You need to either get more light, or you could consider getting a bigger dome. If you don't have the space for that, then again, you just need to get more light or kind of work with it. It can be a little weird. Now, what you could do, interesting thing. Sorry, I'm trying to put my slippers back on. An interesting thing that I've seen is Ulanzi has these inflatable lights. So if space is an issue, that's another and a new interesting solution that Ulanzi came out with. I think it's Ulanzi. Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's Ulanzi. Inflatable lights. These are, I think, one of the smartest new inventions that, because we're not seeing a whole lot of, a light is a light is a light for the most part. But for Alexa, stop. Nobody asks you nothing. She want to work when I don't need her to work, and she don't want to work when I don't need her to work, or when I do need her to work. So sorry if I triggered anybody else's stuff, but she gonna get let go. That's all I know. So here's the ones from Ulanzi. If you need something else to kind of fill in, but not take up a ton of space, these are cool. And you can get 20% off for the next 4 hours, courtesy of whatever this is. And as I said, the devil bothers no one that is not doing something. And right then and there, even though I just put fresh batteries in my mouse, it goes ghost. So, but that's why I always keep some charged. Hold on for a second. Let me grab my web. Always keep spares on hand. But as soon as I can get that down, as soon as I swap these batteries out. But what you could do is use one of these, because it is already soft lighting. then that could help fill in any space that what you're trying to do. But if you really need to light a space, if you can't buy it, you can rent it from lens rentals. That's one thing. Like if you're trying to do something, you're trying to see if something will work for you. All right, back in action. You're trying to see if something will work for you, but you're not sure. You can rent it from lens rental. That's who I recommend for any rental of any gear. But this is a solution that's cool that they're doing, that if, like I said, you kind of want that same lighting experience, but you don't have the space for these huge, big old things, or you need it to be a bit more flexible. This is an interesting solution that they came out with, which I think honestly is freaking brilliant. It honestly is brilliant because it solves exactly what people want. Soft lighting, a bigger light spread, but not have to feel like you are being claustrophobic, which I literally talked about last week of why I don't like those huge, big parabolic ones, because they just got the freaking computer arms and everything else all over you. And just like, that's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. Shoot. Said, man, tell Lil Ro Velcro piece had me lose my life after jumping the other day. I said, I looked down at the big pillow so much. Oh, my shoe, the Velcro piece fell off and stuck to, just trying to get your heart rate up. That's what it was. Saying, hey, I know you haven't closed that ring all the way yet. Let me help you out. Shoot. Saying, got it. So from observation, whichever device is currently active, as far as the SSDs we were talking about, heats up, the cal digit warm because it's always active. But yes, please check during editing. Let us know. Thanks. Will do. Saying, for example, I've been writing data to the Samsung. A case is 2 terabyte all morning and it's hot. But once I was done, chilled to the touch. I mean, if it's that concerning, you could go old school, get you one of those $10 probably now laptop fans, and instead of it being for a laptop, let it be for the SSDs. It works off of USB anyway, and they're super lightweight. They probably are super thin by now, but that way you at least have something for the SSDs if you're that concerned or if it is a thing. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure they factored that in to what the best temperature is or the highest temperature that it can go to a point. So let's see. Saying Tamron lenses never had any issues ever. I've been waiting over a year for a sale for as far as like Tamron. Only thing I'll say about Tamron, some of the primes, like budget primes, like I love the 20 millimeter f2.8 that I have. And they came out with a few other ones when that one came out. Noisy compared to other lenses. They don't have those stepper motors in there, or at least they don't have good stepper motors in there because they are noisy. Sounds like a chipmunk. They're just so those, but they're fantastic quality lenses. Now, if you go obviously higher up in the line, lens, I have no qualms with Tamron, and I freaking love that they almost double as a macro lens, so you can get like these really crazy perspectives when you get close up on something. I don't know anything scientifically about the lens elements that makes them produce that, but they throw that just about in all of the lenses that I've tested and tried by Tamron. They are freaking amazing. But are they going to go on sale? Probably not. That would be the day. Saying that glass was a sleeper agent and trying to the last week was awful, freaking awful. Trying to tell you, saying I keep auto update turned off on the computers as well. 100%. Saying, oh, y'all out here talking in the stream. Okay, quick question. On your stream setup, using OBS for the chat display or something else. So I use Ecamm Live. 10 out of 10 recommend. I personally do not care to use anything that requires me. So I'll show you what it looks like. I personally don't care to use anything that I have to have a kerfuffle with. I hate it. So I'll show you what I see. So this is like for my music. And personally, I love customer service. If something's going wrong, I want to reach out to a company of representatives to figure that out because it's their software. I'm not trying to be a software person. I like to stay in my lane. and the lanes that I want to create that are for me. So, but this is Ecamm, so I can go and do whatever I want. If I have the me and the guest stream set up, then I can have this and pull in the other person. So if I'm doing like an interview, podcast, whatever, this is already ready to go. When I was doing me and the ZVE 10 screen, and we were going through settings and all the stuff, or if you were here for that, but on previous streams, like somebody asked a question, if I grab my camera, plug in my camera, then I'll have this for the ZVE 10. And then like we were doing the screen share, then I can go back to this and be like, hey, at 5 p.m. today, the the Press Publish Bootcamp doors open. So that's the thing. I can pull up and say, hey, we got a question came in from such and such, make the video, everything that I want to do in addition to the questions. I just come over here, pick this up. It's like, what? Why is she on volume 0 when I need her? What are you talking about? My volume 0? When? As you can see, I'm right up here in the green. So what do you mean? I'm gonna have to scroll back up. But yeah, so I can come in here and say or change and play with her comment if I want to. Like if somebody says something about dark chocolate, I come in here and change it or whatever and have fun with it. But this is Ecamm Live. I don't use OBS. It's just not my cup of tea, because everything, if I wanted to do all of this stuff, I have to build out these workflows in doing that. I'm not trying to do that for nothing other than the funnels and stuff on the website or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes something that should be a simple process more complex for me. So I tried OBS before and I'm just like, no, thank you. Because if I want to add in whatever, just like the music, and pull this back up. If I want to come in and be like, oh, I want to play this song now. Then, or it's like, or I want, when I go to this question screen over here, a new song starts or a specific one. So I can drag that and it's just going to do it. So I can go from no music. Let's say we're going through settings or whatever, music's distracting. I'm like, okay, let's move into the next question. So we have Zatura that just, you see how that's seamless? You know what I'm saying? So like I can do whatever I need to, whatever I want to. Like it's a lot of freedom with customer service, but I don't need customer service most. So, but I use Ecamm. So OBS, no, because whatever I think that I want to build, or even like when I'm working with a coaching client and we are on a call and they be like, help me set up for this kind of a show or whatever. That's what we're doing. I could build it for them on my computer, send it to them, give them the one-click install, and they're off to the races. So no, I don't use OBS. It's not my cup of tea or my cup of coffee. But I've been using it since 2018, so it's dope. It said I have way too many live streams where it's burst into my conversation. Exactly why she on volumes. You know what? I haven't seen you say something that you said you needed help with. See, I don't see that you going off on me, and I don't even know. I don't even know. Did I miss one? Did I miss one? I didn't see it. I thought you was having an internal conversation in the chat, trying to be respectful. Okay, mind my business. Okay, but I'm just saying, let me know. Did I miss a question? So what I did was I got these. Okay, back to SSDs. What I did was I got the Acasis Thunderbolt 4 SSD enclosures that have a pretty quiet fan built in. Again, that's what I was saying last week. I don't want to build stuff like that, because when something goes awry, you become your own tech support. I'm not trying to do that. If it don't work, I'm sending it back. If it is something under warranty, I can send it back, get a new one. Or, you know, like if it's customer service related, I'd let somebody that gets paid to think about those things all day do their job and help me. And we are a wonderful relationship, customer service and the customer. But no, I just don't like to build that kind of stuff. Like as simple as this capture card is, I'm pretty sure somebody could probably put something together, and there's probably plenty of people that actually do. I don't want to do that. I want to say, hey, Elgato, I'm having issues like Marquez was. What's going on? What can I do? Here's the serial number. Here's when I bought it. Here's what it often is used for, how many hours it usually runs. What's wrong? Oh, it's something wrong with it. Under warranty, send me a new one. Thank you very much. Or I just go buy a new one type. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not my cup of tea. So I can't speak to that because it's just not my world. It's not my world or my space. So yeah, saying, Lord have mercy, Alexa, not you, Glad. Oh, I'm like, what did I do? Alexa, usually it's like I'll hit that button so she doesn't say anything, and it just has that red ring around it. But I never know what I want her to do. But all of a sudden she's like, oh, I can do. It's like, mind your business. I didn't ask for you. When we was doing the streams, going through all the settings, and I said do this, you act like you didn't hear me, Alexa. And so, shoot, just saying. Guri. Yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, all of that. Let me know how to pronounce your name so I don't mess that up. Shoot. Saying, hi, I am starting a podcast, but I'm low on budget. Should I go and buy 2 cameras or rent a studio with all the equipment and shoot? It's $150 for 2 hours. I 100% promise you, you don't want to do that if you've never made content before. Because whether you are ready, know what to do, know how to start, or how many mistakes that you make, you burn 2 hours easily batch recording content. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to say I'm getting 4 episodes in, you like, oh man, if I have to use the bathroom, the clock is still running. So that the studio, paying for studio time makes sense when you actually know what you're going to be sitting down and talking. If that is the case, and you've done content before, maybe like I said, you started and done some episodes or whatever on your phone, you got your content flow and all that stuff down packed, then great. Then at that point, you can just say like, okay, I just need to go and be able to sit down and hit record. And like know that when I'm done at the end of these 2 hours, I'm going to have X produced already, or at least recorded. Then I think that makes a good decision. If you've never made content before, you want to make content, and you're like, crap, what do I do? Do I go, don't do that. That should not be the first thing that you do. To be 100% honest with you, there's a lot that you could do simply with your smartphone, whatever kind it is, because it's probably only a few years old at the oldest. Even for the oldest phones, they're still sufficient enough. So what you could do is get you a good microphone for like $50 to $80 USD, and go from there and at least start getting the content out. Because if it's just an audio podcast and they're not doing the edits and stuff for you, you could do that at home with whatever computer that you have. Because it's number one, AI is now a part of the conversation now. There's programs that can edit for you. There's Autopod that literally can edit the whole podcast together for you. And even if, let's go real budget. Let's go real budget friendly. If you record your content first, then get a free trial for some stuff, you could have had your month worth of content done and then some, simply off the free trials. So if you're doing an audio only podcast, and even if you're not, I would recommend getting used to doing content for yourself first. And whatever smartphone that you have, if you use the rear facing cameras, those are going to be the best cameras. Number one, clean the lens so it doesn't look like Vaseline is smeared over it. That drastically improves the quality. Number two, face light, or at least have a light. So if you don't have money, be facing a window. It should be the window in front of your face, and then your phone also on that same light side. So whatever it is, don't have the phone on the other side, or you got the window behind you trying to create a scene. You need the light more than you need the scene at that point. So then you can use a podcast style microphone that can hook into your phone, and you do all of that there. I've done this before, so that's why I'm speaking from experience with it. It's still Cyber Week here in the US, so that I know of, at least for, like I'm saying, in the US for us, Amazon. Let me think. ATR 2100X is one microphone. I think the ATR 2100 is cheaper than the Samsung. Yeah. So I pulled this up last week. So this is the, this one. It's $48 US. Don't know what if you're located someplace else, what that would translate into for you. And then the other one that I love is the Samson Q2U. I have both of these microphones, but these are already great with rejecting background noise. So you don't need to be surrounded in a padded room with a bunch of foam or any of that. It sounds amazing by itself. If you are in a noisy space, and like for me, I don't like to be cold or hot. So in the summertime, I have the fan on. In the wintertime, I have the space heater on. So to get rid of that background noise, I use a program called Crisp. Crisp allows for you to have, let me pull this up real quick. Crisp allows for you to get, let's see, price. I know they have a free plan. So you can do 60 minutes a day of free noise canceling. 60 minutes a day. And I'll put a link to these in the chat in just a second. So if noise is an issue, even with those microphones that are great at rejecting background noise, you need to be as close to them as I am to mine. You can't be back here trying to do, you know what I'm saying? So they come with stands, not the best stands in the world, but they're doable. You can put some books, you can put some shoe boxes. Hell, you can do a pillow as long as you don't knock it over. So you do, I would recommend going this route. $48, 38% off. I don't know when cyber deals end for the cyber week, if that's on Saturday or Sunday, or if it doesn't end until next Monday, or like maybe Sunday 12 a.m. or something like that. So get you this microphone, and if it's audio or video, it does not matter, because what you can do is, and I'm gonna throw these links to you in the chat so you can get Crisp, and so that you can get whatever the microphone link. This is the ATR 2100X, and then Crisp AI. I am going to share with you my affiliate link, or at least my referral link. Dana.link/KRISP. All right, so those are in the chat now. So you can use that 60 minutes a day. So whatever 2 hours you were going to do to get rid of it and all the noise canceling, all this stuff, great. Let me give you another one. Like I said, we're going super budget friendly. So let me pull in for you one of the best freaking free tools in the freaking world. And I'm not kidding you when it comes to audio. I use this all the time. It is called Auphonic. So if you want where your voice sounds great, or maybe, like I said, you're not recording to a computer or whatever, because Crisp requires you to have a computer. It runs off of that. They don't have the mobile app anymore. So if you do record it on your phone or whatever, Rode has an app. Blackmagic has an app for smartphones, and your phone will read it with the USB. So you can have the USB, run it into your phone, camera facing you, podcast getting done. Make no excuses for yourself when it comes to certain things like that. We have an idea of what the perfect and ideal setup looks like. Create and publish into that vision becoming the reality. You know what I'm saying? Until the day becomes where you can get the camera that you want, or the gear that you want, or whatever. Audio is always more important than video, even though I'm a video first person and creator. But this is Auphonic. This has been the GOAT for I don't even know how long. So what you can do is you come in here, and like I have, like this is for the, like I said, my Creator News weekly newsletter. So I can come in here and pick, and like, even though the audio is not bad, it's just minor tweaks that I want to do. Export that out, so that way I sound better. It gets rid of any noise, whatever the case is. If I want to create something to where, say I'm doing a new one, I come in, add the file. I can add an image, so when people download it, they get the image. Any specific settings, depending on where you publish or where they say you need stuff, all of that. That's not the point. Scroll all the way to the bottom. So if you need some parts you were quiet, another part you was loud because you was laughing. Somebody came in the room and they said something to you. You need to get all that. Great. Come down here and say, remove the constant noises, or just keep only me speaking, or keep speech, remove everything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like only me talking. You can edit it to whatever you want. This is different now that I've seen cut any silence. You cut the silence out. Like this is, you don't even have to know anything about anything. and use Auphonic. And they also have a free account. I already put the link in the description, in the chat, so you can get that. So when you record the audio, let's say you know nothing about nothing when it comes to content, okay? And then you say, how do I get it to sound better? Some parts I'm loud, some parts I'm quiet, and blah, 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 blah. Use Auphonic. A lot of people like to use the Adobe podcast thing, but sometimes it makes you sound weird. Like almost as if you got a plastic cup or something over the microphone. And it's too strong. You can't... Auphonic, you can pick stuff you don't even understand, and it will be like... You can listen to it and be like, well, what happens if I turn that off? Like you can at least get it to the point that you like. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you go super budget friendly. And with $50, the cable that already comes with the microphone, a free app with video recording and audio recording built into it, and because you can use the voice memos on your phone, you can do an audio only podcast or you can do a video podcast, and you can start today. Like I said, whatever window you're facing, or just go outside. So maybe you buy a tripod as well or something for your smartphone if you don't already have one. This is the window. Put your phone facing it your way, and use the rear facing cameras, clean the lens. You got a lethal setup out the gate with a $50 microphone. And everything else that I talked about is free or has Dynamite free, a free option to go with it. And you off to the races. So you may want one, but do you need one? No. You can get away with some lethal stuff. So hopefully that helps. JFK Products saying, see what had happened was Apple wanted $1,400 from me just for the 4 terabyte and 8 terabyte storage. I guess you mean like in the computer. So you offset that. Again, it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I get that too. Number one, I don't put a lot on the computer. Any storage that's on the computer is for it to operate more so, or temporary files and stuff that need to be there. So regardless, it's on the computer, or just like stuff that needs to stay there. So like when I travel, my stream assets and stuff, yes, I run them off the SSD, but the computer has it as well. Again, 2 is 1, 1 is none. But when it comes to some stuff like that, over time, you pay for it anyway. Through your own time, through trial and error, through the frustration, and then you not wanting to do it no more. It's like you're going to pay one way or the other. If you don't pay for that price tag, sometimes up front, sometimes you end up paying for it on the back end. So that's why I said, when it comes, if I'm not going to, I don't have some special souped up model for my, what was it, M2? Got an M2 Mac Mini, I think around this time last year. So it's not some souped up model, but it does everything that I need to do. But any computer that I have, even those that, I've gotten where it's like, oh, I need this and this specific video card and blah, blah, blah. I still don't bog that computer down with everything. So having a massive internal storage, I'd rather have the processors and enough to run it. And then, like I said, everything else lives across 3 SSDs spaced out so that not one is only doing the job of just that one. Hey, Christmas is upon us. And people are feeling mighty festive. Put it up that you want a good SSD. Or put it up that, hey, can you meet me halfway on XYZ computer? Can you meet me halfway on such and such? And do it. Go that, you know what I'm saying? Go that route. Or what's a good used camera to buy? Depends on, again, what the use case is. If it's just video podcasting, ZV-E10 Mark I, easy. Because on a tripod, incredible autofocus. You don't have to think about it. Runs for forever and a day. I ran that thing easy. At least 16 hours straight, never turning it off. I definitely, and that's at an event, a live event. I've done where I've run it for, I think I did that one for like 3 days of never turning it off just to see what would happen. For the A6400, this is another one, but I wouldn't get that one simply because for the same price of the Sony ZV-E10, whether it's new or used, you get way better features, and it's just a way better camera. So unless the A6400 is far cheaper, then that would be fine, but it doesn't make sense for the same price to get something older when new tech and better tech is available. Any content you want to make on like Lethal on a tripod. I vlogged with it. It was my main camera until I got my ZVE1. So Lethal on a tripod, you know what I'm saying? Like it, hands down, easy recommendation. Like you doing video podcasting, content creation, verticals, TikTok, that's, hey, good one. It is a great one. So that is what I would recommend if that's the kind of stuff that you're doing. So it's going to be a video podcast where I invite guests, talk with them, 2-cam setups. Still would be my recommendation, because too many learning curves equal a circle. Buying a ton of cameras, you got all these gear, you have all of this, then you add on your software, then you got the editing process. If you're doing all of that, you got the post-production, you have the uploading, you have the whatever, and then you got the thumbnails. Like, too many learning curves equal a circle. Let's not try to add on too much at once. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, if phone is the best way, great, start there. If one camera in the phone is the best way, great, start there. If you want to go Bees Knees Hall of Fame and you just want to jump into the 2 cameras, great, start there. But also know that with however much gear that you're willing to invest in, also be willing to make an equal investment, if not more, in the time to learn how to use all those skills. Because there's no such thing as give me the best camera settings that I can use in 3 minutes and then magic happens. Or I show you my camera settings and it'd be like, I'm just going to copy what you're doing. And it may look terrible on you because it just don't work all the time because your space, your environment is different. So when you look at stuff like that, like you can do 2 cameras. It don't have to be difficult. Hell, you can honestly, quiet as kept, you could run the cameras in auto, lock the settings so that it doesn't move, and there's your 2 hours if you want to record or whatever. If you want to see if the camera's for you, that's when I recommend renting. Or if you own one and maybe once a month or once every 2 or 3 months you can afford to rent a second one, then at that point that's fine. But also sometimes for what? You know what I'm saying? Like for what? When it comes to like, I need two, you know, whatever. Sometimes, especially if this is your first videos, I'm going to say for what? You know what I'm saying? Because now you need to actively switch between the cameras, maintain what you're saying, not cut that person off, understand how to live troubleshoot. It's very much similar to live streaming because you have time to troubleshoot. The guests didn't sign up for you to troubleshoot with them. They have a threshold of how much they're willing to deal with before they don't feel like come back on your show ever again no more. Or they be like, hey man, maybe we can reschedule. They don't plan to reschedule. Maybe we can reschedule for another time because, hey, you said 30 minutes. I gave you 45 because, the issues and we still haven't got through the episode or whatever. So let's wrap this up as best we can because I got to go. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so people have a threshold for how much they're willing to to deal with live actually figuring that out. So like I said, when you make an investment, when whatever camera gear, technology stuff or whatever, you also make an equal investment in, if not more, in the amount of time that it takes for you to learn to use that gear effectively. So if you ain't never did 2 cameras before, you ain't never did 1 camera before, you ain't never messed with settings before, you never edited it, you never did any of that stuff before, too many learning curves equal a circle. You're going to be spinning around in wheels and can't really get too much outward. You know what I'm saying? So take that into consideration. I'm not speaking necessarily against it, but usually if it's your first, 1 angle. Keep it simple. Even if you own 2 cameras, do what you can do, actually do. Because then that means, are you re-recording? Okay, now we got media. Or are we using a live stream type setup? We're just not streaming it. We're doing it more like this, but it's recording. Are we doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what are we doing for the audio interface? Because then it's like you're not going to get the audio to the camera. Just throwing it out there is how it works. You're not going to get the audio to the camera directly in some ways. I have some videos on that. But those are hacks, more or less. Some of them. Most of them are hacks. But it's like, okay, we're using the audio interface. Now what? Are you familiar with the audio interface? Have you ever used that before? How long have you been using it? Oh, you got to learn how to use that one. Download the software. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Make it executable. What's the fastest path to publishing? What is the fastest path to you hitting publish and being able to execute on what you're saying you want to do? I don't think that's going to be 2 cameras and this, that, and whatever. If you've never done any of this stuff before and you're trying to do all this stuff by yourself with a very low budget, you're adding too many constraints. That's not going to help you. I can give you all the ideas and the what to do's and stuff, but you still actually physically have to do all those things. So like I said, it's something to consider and to think of when you're going through that kind of stuff. Davidson also used the Fiduci. That's what I say that brand is. The Fiduci SL40 USB mic for podcasting and hashtag all the things. Only thing I don't like about these super cheap microphones that I've seen on Amazon and stuff, and I have had said companies reach out about it's like, hey, can we do something? It's like, and this, I can't do this. I can't do any of this with my microphone without it sounding like I might as well be banging this up against the microphone. Terrible handling noise. So you are afraid to do anything because one tap to the microphone. How many times y'all seen me just be like, yeah, so we about to do, and I'm tweaking and doing all this. And yeah, you hear some stuff, but you don't hear it sound like you basically hitting the ironing board up against the microphone kind of a thing. So it's like terrible handling noise, even for small stuff. Usually not that aggressive with stuff. I'm usually not that aggressive with stuff. But if I need to do something, I don't want it to be blah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Saying, oh, Phonic, I use that for every video. Phonic is fire 100%. Saying co-sign on, yep, 100%. Saying, or do we do like normal people and buy SSDs at sane prices and build our own external? As hey, I am of the variety that buys SSDs. That includes customer service, return periods, and other things that are not in my ministry of work to do, which is figure out what's going wrong. That's why I'd never do a PC build unless it was for fun. I'd never do a PC build that I have to rely on because I'm not going to be my own tech support. I will call tech support. So if I ever get another Christmas gift, I'll consider giving my life to Christ. My life to, as you should. But it's honestly, if you put it up, that it's like, even with your community. So I'll tell y'all like 2 recent testimonials. So one, my friend was saying that she wants to get a camera. She wants to do this. She had a trip that she's on now that she wasn't going to go to because it's like, man, it's like, okay, this costs this much. This costs this much. These are these things, right? Which is normal, like everybody else. Then I was like, well, put it out there. What you're trying to do, share that with your community. I said, because you never know how somebody may want to bless you. Next thing you know, $1,700 something plus dollars later, not only for the trip, this is taken care of. Now I can get this, X, Y, and Z. So when you're producing content, it does produce results, and you never know how somebody want to bless you. Especially in this time of year, people are super giving. People are super giving, and people are just more nice than most people see. You know what I'm saying? I think online gives it element of perspective at times on social media that is just like, oh, the world is bad and it's getting worse kind of stuff. Normal people are still normal people, and normal people are usually nice. And you never know, again, how somebody just wants to invest in you and bless in you. So put it out there. This is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm doing. If you got to buy me a coffee page or whatever, put it up there that this is like, hey, I need to get this SSD. Hey, I need to get this microphone for a podcast. Hey, I'm trying to improve the quality, but publish anyway. Publish in pursuit of your purposeful work. Publish in pursuit of your purposeful work. Publish in pursuit of your purposeful work. Don't hold back, sit and wait, spend, deliberate. Keep going. You never know. So I didn't get a chance to go back and check last week's replay. Did you recommend the SSDs being good for general storage? Or just stick to my normal HDD. HDD is what's good for just if you're trying to do baseline storage. For efficiency's sake, at some point, it makes sense to eat the cost of a cloud system and building that, or like a RAID type system. Or, you know what I'm saying? You'll hear people talk about like a NAS, or Synology is one brand, but they'll build some kind of RAID type system where you have multiple terabytes of drives and stuff, and they're basically building their own local cloud storage. I get that's a big investment at a point, but it does make sense at some point to do a cloud storage system simply for And I get it. Yes, it's a recurring price. Everything is subscription. And to a point, we all getting subscriptioned out of stuff. Like we're tired of the subscription. And then it's like Canva caught hell, for example. Raising is like, we're going to charge such and such because it costs us this much to do it. And people's like, I don't care. I will go to Adobe, whatever, Rush or something like that they use or that's available. And then Canva was like, we don't care. We want you to stay. We're going to drop that price. So I would recommend, if you want to keep stuff, HDD. If you want to work from your drive, then SSD. Do that. Saying, Houseway, I have the ZV-10 and it overheats easily and has terrible battery life. Other than that, I love it. You must be new to these streets, JJ. Okay, I don't have time to go into it right now because I'm about to wrap up the stream. But I can tell you I ran mine for days. And it's not, and I didn't have no camera fan. I didn't have like all the stuff that you hear where like that we tried and tested and stuff, testing the overheating and stuff with the Sony ZV-E1, A6700, all these other cameras that are newer ones that came out with 10-bit that now have processing issues. I don't have those problems. I can run my ZV-10 for days. Mark 1, run it for days. No problem. No problem. No problem. Now, if you do have one that has that issue, I don't really know what to tell you. But I've had multiples. Used multiples. I've had other people's stuff get hot unnecessarily. But I don't baby my cameras to be like, oh, you need this, you need this. Only one that needs extra attention is the ZV-E1. When I'm doing stuff like that, I've even ran this camera for 8 hours plus with no fan just to see what are the limits and stuff. Yeah, you can get it to overheat. That's possible. And you can get it to overheat normally sometimes just doing the regular everyday course of stuff, but that's not my reality. I can do my podcast, streams and stuff like this, live events, virtual events, the live Helpcast stream that I'm doing right now, for example. Then I'll add on what I call my camera airboat system, where I don't have to think about it at that point. But I've done both sides of it. This is just I don't feel like thinking about it. This is what I built to deal with it kind of scenario. But my ZV-E10, run it for days, no problem. Run it for days, no problem. Battery life, that's not an issue for me either because I always had a battery bank on my tripod. And y'all see this even in my videos and the B-roll and stuff. Keep a battery bank on the side and I would run it up to the USB of the camera and run and easily go for like 4+ hours off of a 200 it's a 2200, so 2200 milliamp hour battery bank. Little small joints you would see at Walgreens, CVS, Target, whatever. Just the little ones. That's just 2200, let alone I pull out my 15,000 milliamp hour ones. Then I'm going for days with the battery, with the FW50 battery in there. So check out the channel, my brother or sister. Shoot. Saying gear does not replace experience, 100%. Saying, yeah, I've used that for when shooting for long periods of time in one place, but I use mine for vlogging. I use my ZV-10 too. It worked it. Put it to work. What is up, Mr. Camera Junkie? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. All right, let's see. Saying, ooh. Oh, see, again, you ain't talking to me. Let me mind my business. Saying, hey, this video popped up where I was going, oh, what's up? Shashant? Is that how you say your name? Oh, let me know if I said that wrong. Good to see you. Saying, who are you? And what do you do? Well, I do this. My name is Diana, as the channel says, and I do streams. Not only streams, but I do make content. Help entrepreneurs, content creators, probably like you, make videos and make content a whole hell of a lot easier and simplifying the tech in easy terms, so to speak. So, so if you're new here, welcome around. Rogina, good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying, I just discovered and subscribed to your channel today. Oh, well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Glad Gang. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying, I'm a photographer learning video. Saying, love your content. Why, thank you so much. And welcome to the communities. So that's interesting. I do see photographers, videographers, few filmmakers and stuff that are in the community. Not a whole bunch of photographers that I'm familiar with. That are here, but if you got questions, whether it's under a video or on the stream or whatever, make sure to drop that. I always am very active in my comments. I got to catch up So I've been working on this launch these last couple weeks for the Press Publish Bootcamp that goes live today at 5 p.m. But comments on the YouTube channel, I'll get around to answering those, and I'm pretty good about keeping up with some of them. If the channel gets busy and a lot of comments come in, it takes me a while to catch up to reply, but I'm very active in my comment section. So if you have questions across any videos, just drop it underneath. Saying, I am from the church of DIY and no bankruptcy. Hey, and may the Lord bless you and keep you always. I said, bless their hearts. Shoot. Saying countless blessings that have been gifted to me. Peak Design Cup comes to mind. My homie, Mr. Camera Junkie, saying, I plan on building a Flash, Tor, or Synology NAS because with no cloud, internet, no files. I get it. I think someday, don't know when that day may be, like in my visions of stuff that I want to do, yeah, it makes sense to build our own type cloud systems, but it also makes sense for me to have that, and just because the cost of not using it and not having it is higher in time and inefficiencies, which I'm not willing to do. Again, this is for me, then it costs more to not have it than it does to have it. So I'd rather pay what it is for the cloud. Anybody that I'm working with can access for whatever. I'm not having to deal with transfer speeds of anything. I'm not having to baby or just manually watch, or, like I don't have to done link for this, but boom, works. It works. Say wrap up. We know. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We are not doing a 5-hour energy live stream, which if you are new around these country streets, we are not doing what I call a 5-hour energy live stream, where I stream answering questions nonstop until usually I get to the end of the chat. And then that's when the chat plays me, because we keep going, and we have done in excess of 5 hours. We will not be doing that on this wonderful Friday. We will not be doing that. Okay. Saying, what settings do you use? Oh, you got to go back a couple streams. Y'all not going to do that to me today. That's like, where were we at? We're at almost 2. Oh no. Y'all not finna fool me for the holidays? Y'all not finna do me like that for the holidays? Absolutely not. We're not doing a 5-hour stream. Okay, JJ, what I will say is this. If you have specific questions or whatever, like, I will answer that. I usually do 4K, 24p with the Sony ZV-E1 because it's there. I do the 422 10-bit. Before that, I wasn't. I was doing whatever the 4K was, which is XAVC S. Now I use the H.265 codec, which is the XAVC HS. If those letters sound foreign, I just picked the highest 4K setting. Not the highest in the ZV-E1, because that one is unnecessary. Unless I'm doing like some kind of paid project, I'm doing an event or something like that. But for me, it gives me the same output file size as what the base or the highest ZV-E1, excuse me, let me say this clearly. What I use on my Sony ZV-E1 in that H.265, 422 10-bit, whatever bees knees Hall of Fame settings, it gives me the same file size with a higher quality as I would get on my ZV-E10 Mark I. So whatever the highest is there, I believe that's 100 megabits per second. XAVC S on the Sony ZV-E10 Mark I. That's the highest that camera can do in 8-bit. So the file sizes are the same, but I get a higher quality file there. I personally like 24 frames per second just because I don't care nothing what nobody say about nothing. I encourage everybody to do what you like. Do what you like. So if 30 frames per second is your jam, you can do that. If 60 frames per second is your jam, do that. I personally like 24 because I like the way it looks on me. I like the way my videos look. It's not trying to be a filmmaker or videographer, even though I used to do that kind of work before. It's not me trying to do any of that. It is simply when I test it 24, 30, and 60 on my face, because I have hyperpigmentation, have acne issues and stuff like that or whatever. We need not see all of the details for the zit of the week. We just don't need to see it. Like, it's not, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So I turn, so for that, I just do 24, okay? I do 24. It looks a little smoother, in my opinion. 30 looks more sharper. So if you want more of a sharper, crispier look, even in 4K or 1080p, I would recommend 30. 60 even more. That's now looking hyper realistic, like you would see on TV and sports and stuff, or news and sports. So 30 and 60 kind of look like that. I'm just not, I didn't care for the way that looked personally. So it's just a personal preference when it comes to the frames per second. But I do 24p. It's nothing special. You can go back a few streams ago, and I literally put all of my camera settings on the screen, answered any questions that anybody had, and I went through why I picked the specific settings for everything. So I don't hold any kind of stuff back when it comes to settings. I don't gatekeep certain stuff. Only thing I don't talk about is LUTs, because I'm not some colorist or anything like that. I don't feel like that's something that's really in my wheelhouse that I want to talk about. Can I do color grading and stuff to a point to get like what I'm wanting to see and get it honestly to look normal with a little bit of, razzle dazzle to it? Yes. But I'm not, some colorist person like, okay, in DaVinci Resolve, we're going to do. No, it's not me. I'm not about that life. So I won't talk about LUTs and all that because, yeah, it's just not my jam. It's like, do I use them? Yes. Do I teach her on them or stuff like that? No. I said, I got a clip that laughed and said that. Y'all not right. We need to turn that off on YouTube. Santa Diana also preaches the gospel of white chocolate. Indeed, I do, because it is delicious and amazing. So what camera and frames per second are you using now? Just answer that. Sony ZV-E1. The lens is actually an APS-C lens. It is the Sony 35mm f1.8 OSS. And that's an APS-C one. It's just my favorite lens ever. I absolutely love it. Any B-roll I shoot is on the 35. Any product shots, so like sales videos, stuff or whatever, which is something that I'm be getting into teaching, like how to do a lot of that stuff that I've done before. And you know what I'm saying? Like it just, chef's kiss is my favorite freaking lens. And it's not because of the focal length or whatever. It just, I don't know, you kind of gravitate towards certain stuff, like anything. Certain clothes, certain foods, certain brands. Lenses are kind of like the same way. And so I got that lens, and I'm like, this is the best. This is the best lens in the world to me. It's my favorite. I freaking love it. So Sony ZV-E1, the Sony 35 f1.8 OSS lens that is APS-C. I use clear image zoom just to get rid of the vignette, but I still keep a little bit of it just because I like it. And so I use that, Sony ZV-E1, Camlink 4K, and Bob's your uncle. That's what I do. So you get a pass. You can go no 5-hour stream today. Oh, well, thank you. But I have the stream button over here. Okay. I run this. Okay. In this house, I run the stream, and I will hit the end button. Okay. No, just kidding. Saying, maybe that's why it's like I shoot in 30 frames per second. Yeah. So it's not a right or wrong. It's just preference when it comes to that. Saying we do not need to see the zit. Seriously, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, we need to do like y'all. If all my life, you'll see me do this in a video, in a stream. I'll be at an event. Okay, I've been paid thousands of dollars to teach at an event and be like, yeah. So when you're doing so, because I'm not finna be crusty out here in these real and digital streets. And then on top of that, like, why do we need to see that? In the best settings of the world, like smooth that out a little bit, help a sister out. You know what I'm saying? So I just, 24 keeps us nice, natural. We just, hey, be cool, Shoot. Be cool. No, we can't be bribed today. We cannot be bribed today. Saying, I'll check out that stream. Thanks. You're very welcome. You're very sent. I tried the LUTs and said, forget this. I went with camo and it did a great job. I've bought so many LUTs, just like in the process of learning, in the process of using. And honestly, that's why it's like you'll hear me profess and teach constantly that to a point, there's really no such right thing as the best camera settings that you can copy and paste, as we all have thought when we were first getting started in video. And if you are getting started, like it would be lovely. At best, it's like I sell my camera settings so you can literally get how I optimize it for video, every button, everything. And then I just do that for like $5. I'm about to increase that because I'm gonna increase the package of it. So it's just not that alone, but it's some other stuff with it. But it's like, otherwise, it's like that's as close as, you can kind of get, but you still got to optimize it for how you like to create. Little quirks that you find about yourself. We all grow and mature as you're creating. And so through that process, then it's like you notice like, oh, I like this, or I want to do this. So you start to customize and tweak and all that, which is why in the Press Publish Bootcamp that goes live actually in 2 hours, I'm not going to keep talking about this because I'm going to go and wrap up this stream. But Press Publish Bootcamp comes out 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We start next week. If you want to be in his house, make sure that you come and join us. Okay? The link will be available for 24 hours on the community tab starting at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Otherwise, you need to be a part of the email community. This is limited seats because we're doing a lot of stuff, a lot of work one-to-one. I'm having you send your camera settings in so I can specifically review your stuff. Send in your specific stuff, your camera, all your gear, whatever. Send me the photos so I can take a look at it and all this. And then I'll give you the feedback. I'm doing all that stuff one-to-one. And then we kicked it off next week for the boot camp. So cart closes on Sunday. I'm going to wrap up the stream because we are not doing a 5-hour energy stream. Okay. May the Lord bless you and keep you always. Hope y'all have a fantastic week out here in these real and digital streets. And I will see y'all in the Press Publish Bootcamp. Peace out, y'all.